So we are back on episode 2 of my series titled AZ-104 Microsoft Azure Exam Prep. This is mainly geared towards IT administrators, IT professionals, whether beginner or experienced. The exam for Microsoft Azure Administrator is an important one when it comes to the IT field and is meant to help employers validate the IT administrator skills. So if you say you're an IT administrator, if I have a company I want to employ you, I have to make sure you are the real deal. So having the Azure administrator exam, passing it and getting it, Microsoft Azure administrator certification is a valid. It validates your skill and tells me that you can do the work. So in the first video, I gave a little introduction about Microsoft Azure, the purpose for that course. The purpose for that exam, and I gave the skills that were measured in the exam. If you just type in Google AZ-104, you're going to see it pop up and you'll see everything I discussed in the first video about this exam. So the second video will go into the Azure account. We already created the account. So this video we're going to touch on the first skill that is measured in this exam. And the first skill is called Microsoft Azure Identities and Governance. So when I created my practice account, so to speak, this is the page I got to after I made everything, after I identified myself through my phone and my debit card. So now it's telling me to go to the Azure Portal. The Azure Portal is where you're going to do everything. Azure Portal is like your gateway to Azure. And it's a graphical portal. That means you can see everything. You can use the mouse to click around. And you can get a lot accomplished with the portal, but not so much because it's limited to what clicking around to get things done. And that's how because it's part of the GUI, the graphical user interface. But if you want to get real work done, you gotta use the command line interface, which we'll touch on later on in the course. But I just want to introduce you to the Azure platform, the portal, as the first thing that you're going to interact with as you work with Azure. So let's go to the portal and see what's going on there. It's still opening up. My computer is very slow. I hope I can close some window. I have a lot of windows open. That's why it's there. And plus it's a new account, so they're trying to set up everything. So as you can see, the first thing that comes in the portal when you log into the Azure portal is the dashboard. The dashboard has everything. The dashboard is the one that contains everything related to Azure. So this is the Azure logo, Microsoft Azure. It's still setting up my account. So when you log into the portal, it's still loading up, but I'll keep it going over everything. on your right to familiarize you with the portal. On the right hand, on your top left, is the portal menu. And so you click on this, you get everything, and all those things you see here on the left side. There's most of them are also most of them are also will also display on the dashboard itself. Then you see Microsoft Azure. You can click on that if you want. It's the home. If you want to go back home after you click around. This one wants me to upgrade, but right now I'm not upgrading. So, and here it is the search bar. You can search anything you want to search on this on the portal. Now, this is an important part: the cloud shell. This is what you're going to work with if you want to use the command line interface, the cloud shell. You can also log in through PowerShell on your computer. You don't have to log in directly to the portal. You can log in using your account details through PowerShell. I'll show that later on. Then you can be able to implement commands through the command line without logging in directly to the portal. This one is it helps you to get your directory and your subscription. Let's say you have a lot of directories or a lot of subscriptions. You can filter them to show the ones you want to show. And this is the notification icon for everything that you are doing. You click on it, you see what's happening right now. Then you can see I have $200 credit remaining on this account. Because there is a free account, Microsoft gives you $200 to practice. You can take advantage of this and practice as you want, as you are studying for the AZ-104 exam. And you don't have to have money on your card. Like I said, you can sign up with your card, but you have free $200, and it helps you to practice on the platform, get used to everything, all those skills that are covered in the exam. So this is very good that Microsoft is giving this. And as you work, you can delete whatever you create so that you can save money, and you can upgrade anytime to pay as you go subscription. Or if your company have the subscription of Microsoft, you can take advantage of that. So one thing I want to clarify about this pay as you go, it means that because the basis of cloud computing is you only pay for what you use. You only pay for the computing resources that you use. Instead of going to buy like 10, 20 servers, 5 servers for your company or your business, you don't have to buy that. You take Microsoft and other cloud vendors take that burden from you because it's expensive to buy even one server. If you check it out, one for a server is very expensive. So instead of buying that upfront, Microsoft gave you the ability to just purchase a server, which is called a virtual machine, VM, on their platform. And based on the workload that you want to do, if you are into graphics, if you are into video production, you can create a server and you can just utilize that server. Whatever you use is what you pay for. You're not going to pay $1,000 for a server and have it sitting down. Even when you're not using it, it's still, now you already spend that money. But if you purchase a server on here, on the cloud platform, you can only pay for what you use. So for let's say in a month you have used compute services, you have used storage services, you pay based on that usage. It's almost like electricity. The amount of electricity used is the amount you pay for every month. So it's a very innovative technology that was developed. That's why I love cloud technology, and that's why I'm into the cloud space. All right, so now this other button is for setting. If you want to go to setting and change some things, this is if you need help, This one you can change your, if you need feedback. And this is the directory. So the directory consists of your name, who signed up, and that is based on your card that you put in. So, and then your email, which is the Azure, Microsoft account, and then the directory. So every account you create has a directory, and the directory ID. That's how it works. So this is then the picture. You can change your picture and everything. So this is the Azure platform. Welcome to the Azure platform. This is where you want to do everything. This is, if your first time login, you are presented with a quick start center. These are the different things you can do in the quick start center. I'm not going to go over all these, but I'm going to focus on our codes. So let's just go around. Let's go to the you are home right now. So if you click home, you get presented Azure Services. These are the different services in Azure. There are a lot. You can click on more services to see everything. In navigation, you can navigate to your subscriptions. You can navigate to resource. We will cover all that. These are the different tools. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Azure, you go to Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Azure Monitor Security Center. These are different tools, and these are useful links. So that's when you come to the home page. And if you want to go to any other service, you can go back to home. You can go to the dashboard and go back to the dashboard. So that's it. This is the dashboard. You can create new dashboard. You can upload stuff. You can do a lot. Click around, because it's a GUI. I'm going to put auto refresh on. Okay, so that's it is. These are a lot of things that Azure has. We're going to go into them based on our course objective. So I'm going to go back to Manage Azure Identities and Governance. This is the 15 to 20% of the Microsoft Azure exam. So if you know this, you already cover 20% of the exam, and you are set to go. You are good to go. So there are three main areas within this. Within this objective. The first area is manage Azure AD objects. Second area is manage role-based access control. And the third area is manage subscriptions and governance. So we're going to go little by little and cover these things, but this video will be focused on manage Azure AD objects. AD stands for Active Directory. Manage Azure Active Directory object. Active Directory is the identity service of Microsoft. Every user that is created in Microsoft, they are an Active Directory object. They are created in the Active Directory. So the first skill in this is create users and groups. So let us create users and groups. We're going to use both the portal and the CLR, command line interface, because in the exam you are always told to use the portal because everything is in the portal. But like I said, if you want to create 50, 100, 500 users, you cannot use the portal. That will not help you. because it's very time consuming to create 100 users with clicking. So you have to learn the PowerShell and the command line interface, which we'll cover in this course. So our first objective, sub-objective number 1. So let's say this is 1.0, manage Azure identities and governance. And then 1.1 is manage Azure AD objects. So on a 1.1 we'll get 1.1, 1.1.0. So 1.1.0 is this: create users and group. We're going to create users and group. We're going to create first. We're going to create a user. Where do you create user? Now this is where this button comes into place. You can go home. The Microsoft service that is responsible for creating users and group is called Active Directory. But in this case, since we are on Azure, it's called Azure Active Directory, Azure AD. So we're going to go to Azure AD. We can do it a lot of ways, but I'll do it this way. This is it, Azure Active Directory. You can come here, you can Google, you can search it right in the search box. It's up to you which one you prefer. So create Azure Active Directory. Go to Azure Active Directory. So this is the default directory for this account. So if you have a company, if you are the administrator of the company, this is where you're going to go to create users. Let's say, for example, we have uh, 5 new employees in the maybe we have a healthcare company, and we have 5 new employees, 5 new nurses that have been hired, and we want to create an account for them, for the company. So let's say the company name is called the best healthcare provider incorporated. Okay, it's just an example. It's a fake company name. So we have this company. We want to create 5 new nurses who were employed. So what do we do? And if you have to be an administrator to create the users. So just know that you have to be an administrator before you create users. So we'll go to there's something I want to show. Right now we have the free license for Azure Active Directory. So I think this is why you need pretty much for the exam, because if you are real organization, you need more than a free license to do a lot of things. We'll cover those things. So let's say we want to create 5 users for this use case. So we want to use the portal, then we want to use PowerShell layer so you can see the difference. So we'll come to users, and on the manage subheading, click on users. Now you can create new user, you can create new guest user, you can do bulk activities. So let's say bulk activity, bulk create. You want to create 5 users. So this one you have to have a CSV template. It's optional. You can upload your CSV template. but we don't wanna do it one by one so you can see how it works. So you say create new user. So what is the username? So the first username will be, that's why you see the the Azure, the account name is very important because the username at the company name. So now that we created the account, we'll go over all that, but we can change this default name at outlook.com. We can change it to our company's domain name. So but for now, for the purpose of the exam, we just cover whatever that is there. So let's say the first username is Chris Newton. Actually, it will create a new username C Newton at AZIS2020 at outlook.com Microsoft.com. This is the default directory that is created when you sign up with Azure with your organization. You can change it later on to put your company's domain name. So let's go and put the name of the person. Chris. Chris is a nurse. Hire, newly hired. So the Chris Newton, their first name is Chris. Last name is Newton. So now as an admin, you have the ability to generate its auto-generated password, or you can create password for the customer, for the employee. And one good thing, if you let it generate a password, you can allow that person to reset their password when they log in. So let's go. So let's say show the password. So you can copy that password and you can give it to the employee, so that when they log in next time, they're gonna change it. They're gonna use this password to log in, but they're gonna change to the new password. They don't have a group right now. We're just creating a real user. So what is their role? The role of the user. Let's say the user is just a regular user. We don't have no other role in the organization, so leave it like that. If they have other roles, you can assign them through the roles option. So settings is very important. To make sure this account active, you need to select a usage location. So we want to use US for the usage location. Wherever you are located, you can choose that usage location. That's the only way this account going to be active if you choose a usage location. If you don't choose a usage location, this account is not going to be active. So enter their job title. They use third nurse, department nursing, and the nursing department. So create. The user is being created. Make sure you save the user's password. I'm going to do that because we're going to be able to log in with that password. So let's make sure you create a user password. So create Newton created. So you see this thing, we want to do it 5 times. Guess how much time it's going to take to do that. So that's why it's important to learn a PowerShell. It's important to learn the PowerShell, the command line interface. As an administrator, you need to know the command line interface. So we're going to employ another person. The next person is called Angie Covalis. A Covalis, C-O-V-A-L-I-S. Angie Covalis. Use a regular user again. Location, make sure you United States. Job title, register and everything. Nursing. So we already have that. We're going to show the password, copy it, and give it to the user. Now I'm going to save it, click create. So if we were using the PowerShell, we're just going to issue one command for all the users. They're going to be created right away instead of doing it one by one. And then it's faster. So that's how you create users. If you go to the exam, that's how you're going to do. And as you create a user for this organization, blah, 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 5 users, 10 users. If you want to do it faster, you use the PowerShell. If you want, if you're not used to PowerShell, you can create one by one using the portal. So that's how you create users. Now I'm going to go and create a nursing group. We got a user and group. I'm not going to do 5 users because it takes too much time. So I'm going to create groups. We are already in Active Directory. So go back to, you can go back here, home, or you can go to here. Actually, you already have it on the dashboard since you have the most recent access services are fresh on the dashboard. So click on this. One good thing, you can also click on the star to keep this service on the home page. You see it's already clear. Yeah. So groups, come to groups, create a group. Same thing, same idea. It's still loading up. Still loading up. So okay, we're going to create a new group. New group. Madam, why are you crying? Go. This is taking a while to load. So this is what we got the 2 things I'm going to do in this video to create users and group. And in the next video, we're going to do manage user and group properties. So what is the first thing you see the type of group. The Azure is actually two types of groups: security groups and Microsoft 365 groups. If your group, the group you created is an administrative group, make sure it's an administrator group. And make sure they are in security group. This group I'm going to create is not it's not an administrator group. It's for the nursing department. So I'm going to call Microsoft 365, and the group name will be nurses. Nurses at the company.com. And then the group description, you can add a description if you want. And so this is for nursing department. So click that. Click create. The group is created. You don't have members here for now, so you can add members later. So you can do that again, create another group, but that's how you create user and group using the portal. Then maybe the next video we're gonna do it using a PowerShell to show you how to create users and group using PowerShell. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll get back to it later and do more of this. Thanks for watching, and continue to practice and do your research. And I wish you luck in your pursuit of the exam of the title Microsoft Azure Administrator.